Today I want to talk to you about protecting little girls, your daughter's innocence. Let's talk about it. What's going on, Closer to God Ministries? Welcome back to another righteous, spirit-filled episode. Today I hope to get you closer to the will of God, closer to his kingdom, closer to the truth, and we're going to jump straight off into it. Man, I want you to understand that I have an 8-year-old daughter who sees everything out in the world and wants to do everything that she sees other kids doing, even seeing grown-ups do. Your daughters, your little girls will fight tooth and nail, just like the little boys will do, to try to do everything that they see is socially acceptable in this world. But today I'm not here to talk about what's socially acceptable. I'm here to talk about what scripture tells us to do for our daughters as mothers and fathers, okay? I've done videos talking about how scripture talks about men being influencers in their sons' lives, being teachers, how the Bible talks about women teaching and influencing their daughters in a certain way. And there's a reason there's that separation in teaching, and that is the reason why you're able to have a cohesive, union, righteous union, when you have biblical marriage and you follow scripture. So for any father or mother out there, I want you to realize that in ways that you let your daughters leave the house, in things that you let your daughter be exposed to, you're opening them up to certain things of the world that they don't need to be opened up to. 9 times out of 10, a girl is gonna lose her virginity before the age of 18, before the age that she gets married, before she has found somebody that's a believer in God. Chances are she's gonna lose her virginity before then. And nowadays, a lot of just kids in general don't have both parents. A lot of kids are being raised not even knowing who their father is, who their mother is. And this is the reason why it's so important that we protect their innocence. Because if you let the world groom and teach your children, if you allow them to be exposed to everything, because you yourself are exposed to everything, you don't follow any guidelines, you're unrestricted, don't be surprised when your daughter's lives turn out the same way yours did and worse. So today I'm going to be reading to you Leviticus chapter 19, verse 29. It is in here very descriptive, very bold, blunt. It says, "Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness." We already know there's a lot of wickedness out there. We already know that in scripture it tells us there's good and there's evil. Mothers and fathers, make sure you have a keen focus on what your daughters are doing. Mothers, if you are setting the wrong example and your daughter wants to go behind you and follow that example, then it seems like you have some reformatting to do, some reconditioning to do. Go back. I challenge you to go back in scripture and find out how God tells you to live as a mother. Fathers, you need to know how God's telling you to live as a man. When you don't do that, you will blindly lead sheep thinking that you are a shepherd protecting them, when ultimately you're throwing them out to the wolves. There is no modesty amongst our young women these days. They're not growing up to be keepers of the home and things like that. They're growing up to be of the world. And you have to protect their innocence, man. Me as a father, I hope that I can protect my daughter's innocence, even though she doesn't live with me, to the point where one day, based upon the example that I've set, it'll be good enough to where I can give her away in marriage, and I've been in her life. I hope to stress to her the importance of saving herself so she doesn't tarnish her soil, her land, with all these spirits that don't want anything righteous for her. And as mothers, you got to be willing to do the same thing. Make a change in yourself as men and women, as mothers and fathers, to set the right example. And it's hard to tell your daughters not to do something when you're doing it yourself. You're not going to wear that because I'm the adult, I set the rules, but yet I'm about to leave the house, go out and do all this sin. because I can wear it because I'm grown. Gotta set the example. And the Bible tells you in scripture how to set the example for your daughters. You better protect their innocence while you have time, because if you don't, the world will swallow them up and they will be filled with the spirit of the devil. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Check out the link in description. Use my discount code because I'm only shooting it gun barrel straight.